A very good afternoon. You're watching News 9 with me, Akshita. Well, first up, with the summer vacation for children on Tirumala is witnessing a huge influx of devotees from across the country. Tens of thousands of devotees made their way to the hill shrine. With the unprecedented rush continuing, the facilities in terms of accommodation and other amenities were stretched beyond their limit. Pilgrims were forced to wait in serpentine lines in the scorching sun. Much to the inconvenience of the devotees, the wait for darshan also stretched to almost 20 hours. Engineering officials have been directed to ensure round-the-clock supply of drinking water and maintain surplus stocks of laddus to meet the demand. Well, keep in mind that it is the summer vacation. Hundreds, thousands of people have turned up at Tirupati to go ahead and seek Lord Balaji's darshan. But this has also led to huge queues. As you can see, it's almost jam-packed with people there. And these people have to wait for nearly 20 hours before they can go ahead and seek the Lord's darshan. It is understood that the temple authorities are also trying to ensure that they do have enough facilities to fend for all these people. In fact, they have ensured that there is enough water as well as a laddu supply for all these people to ensure that they do not get tired, considering of course that it is also very hot at this time of the year, and of course people but seen patiently waiting it out for their turn, some of them having to wait for nearly a day in that particular queue. Well, this is of course the case every single year come summer, and considering that the summer vacation is on for children, families come out in huge numbers to come to Tirupati and seek the Lord's darshan, and keeping that in mind, several people have turned up there. It's also led to quite a bit of chaos, and not because there aren't ample arrangements, but simply because with such queues it takes nearly 20 hours for some people to get their chance to go ahead and seek Lord Balaji's darshan. In fact, the temple authorities are doing all they can. TTD knows, of course, that this time is the rush season almost, with several people coming together. So you can also see that to ensure that not too much chaos prevails, people are distributing water. They're trying to ensure that when they do get into the temple, they are provided with laddus, and that TTD does not run out of laddus either. So the temple also trying to ensure that they have enough steps, enough measures to keep in mind that huge number of people will be coming together. There's no doubt that it is inconveniencing, but it looks like the people are still coming together in huge numbers to seek Lord Balaji's darshan. In fact, come summer and you see a lot of crowds gather here. It's not something that's abnormal. Every single time we have seen this take place. But as you can see, there is a pathway given as such, and the crowds are in fact kept in this to ensure that they do not spill out onto the roads and create further inconvenience to people who are not planning to visit the temple as well. But some of these people have had to wait for nearly 20 hours before they got a chance to go ahead and visit the temple, and even then, of course, it was almost touch and go. They would manage to go ahead and seek Lord Balaji's darshan and would immediately have to leave from there. So for just about a couple of minutes with Lord Balaji there, they have been waiting for 20 hours or so. And well, results of the Class 10 examination that was held in March is expected to be declared on May 12th. Earlier, the Karnataka Board of Secondary Education had announced that SSLC 2014 results will be announced on May 15th. The board has not given any clear reason for the change of dates. Students can check their results on www.karresults.nic.in and www.kseeb.kar.nic.in. Of course, the results will be available in a couple of days from now. It was expected that May 15th would be the date. However, now they have pushed it and they have ensured that ahead of that, almost 2 days ahead of that, is when you'll get the results. So it's on May 12th that the results will be announced for all the students. No word on exactly why they have decided to change the dates. However, as of now, speculation is that it could have something to do with the elections, considering that counting day is on May 16th. But besides that, the authorities have refused to talk about the same. Of course, this is this Karnataka Board for Secondary Education, and they have refused to speak about exactly why they have decided to push the date. But of course, this will be something that will be welcomed to a great extent by the students, considering that the wait will be that much shorter for them and they can enjoy the rest of their summer holidays. And while members of the Kannada Development Authority met with Chief Minister Siddaramaiah at his residence Krishna in Bengaluru today, they have put together a report with recommendations to make Kannada as a medium of communication more common in the city. Some of the recommendations were to make train arrivals as well as departures and even other such announcements strictly only in Kannada and English and no other language. Called Nadu Nodi, the report also requests specific guidelines to be formulated for the state flag and anthem. Karnataka, of course, is the only state in India to have a state flag widely used on all patriotic days and occasions of state pride. Apart from this, they've also asked for Kannada to be one of the languages compulsorily used in all banks across the state. Apart from this, the KDA has asked the Chief Minister to keep a fixed term of 3 years for the authority's president and members. With the report filed just today, Siddaramaiah has already promised to implement the recommendations put forth by Kannada Development Authority. Well, we have to, of course, keep in mind to some extent that the Chief Minister will, in fact, take all of this to hand, and he's already stated that these recommendations will be put in and implemented as soon as possible. Besides that, of course, it was only recently that the Supreme Court turned down the government's request to make Kannada a compulsory medium of education in several primary schools, in all primary schools across Karnataka. In fact, the Supreme Court had stated that you cannot impose a language on anyone. Ever since then, there's been a lot of talk about exactly how Kannada literature will be taken ahead, how people will be encouraged to learn the language, and now the Kannada Development Authority has in fact made a couple of recommendations, including that in all train stations, languages used will be only Kannada and English. Banks should be forced to use Kannada and the likes. Now let's listen to what Chief Minister Siddaramaiah had to say.
ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂಥರ ಕನ್ನಡದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಆಲಸ್ಯ ಇದೆ. ನಮಗೆ ಕನ್ನಡಿಗರಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಭಿಮಾನ ಇರಬೇಕು ಭಾಷೆ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಅದರ ಸ್ಥಾನಮಾನಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಅದರ ಒಡನಾಟ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆ ಹೇಗಿರಬೇಕು, ಇದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಇರಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟು ಅಭಿಮಾನ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸ್ವಾಭಾವಿಕವಾಗಿ ಇರಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟು ಅಭಿಮಾನ.
Well, the Chief Minister has promised that these recommendations will be brought to force as soon as possible. So we will be looking at maybe train stations and the likes having only Kannada and English as the languages used, and even banks will be made to use Kannada on a more regular basis. And while rationed rice which was being illegally transported has been seized in Hassan, a truck which was ferrying the rice has also been seized, and 2 people have been taken into custody for questioning. The truck had arrived in Hassan from Kerala. About 150 quintals of rice has been seized. Officials said that an inquiry will be launched to find out if the scam has been going on for the past few years. talking about 150 quintals of rice there. That's a huge amount, and 2 people have also been taken into questioning with regards to this particular seizure. We understand that the rice was being transported from Kerala to Hassan. It had just arrived in Hassan when in fact it was busted. This was of course a truck which was carrying about 150 quintals of rice, all of which has now been seized. The cops are now trying to find out exactly how this scam was carried out and how long it's been going on for, considering of course that this is a rationed rice.